Skid, episode 6.
6!
Full house today. The most we've ever had. We've had to re-angle it, jig it, get Ryan a special throne. But we'll come on to that. So with us, we've got Cooper Mario.
It's a Mia Cooper.
That was better than Chris's facts.
That's really good.
We've got the legend that is Adam Coxon back with us again.
Hi guys, back for more fun.
We've got the miserable Brummy, Nathan Bird.
I haven't stopped smiling.
He's been alright actually.
And obviously we've got the legend that is Ryan from Trails Don't Pay Bills.
Call me if the trails are sick, bro.
Yes, and he's on a special throne because for those that you know and obviously watch Trails Don't Pay Bills, that he's still in a bit of pain and lower back fluid and stuff like that, so we've had to organise a special blue badge chair for him.
Thanks for rescheduling, first of all.
Yeah, it was planned. Was it like the 2 days after or something like that?
Yeah.
But after I messaged him like, how bad are you?
Yeah, I've got 2 positions, mate, and
Yeah. So it would have been a podcast, but he'd have been lying on the table. Like.
Shall we come to your house instead? In-house podcast.
But no, it's good to see you back up and, well, almost back up and running.
Yeah.
And having a little go on a BMX the other day, I saw.
Yeah.
What did you call it? A 3-inch bunny hop and a 3-inch skid?
Yeah, I don't know if Dave appreciated me skidding his indoor BMX once, but on the outside. But
It was good.
yeah, I just.
Well done, man.
Hey.
I think it was more for psychology, psychological
Yeah.
view than me sort of seeing whether I was capable of bunny up in 2 centimetres.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt good. It had the desired effect. And
That's good. It's funny, it's like until you do it, you don't realise you need those little things.
yeah.
Just that helps get over the edge, you know?
You almost. I worried about putting that video out because like the minute you drop something straight away, I got a message. Oh, you're back! You're back on a bike, right? When we're going riding, I'm like, no, mate. It was like 5 seconds, honest.
Everyone's excited for you, mate.
Yeah, that was it. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, sweet.
Are we going to get the crash out of the way? Because he's probably fed up of talking.
Yeah.
Well, everybody who speaks to you must be talking to you.
First of
about
all, we'll start off with an intro. Because if you have been under a rock and you don't know who Trails Don't Pay Bills are, I'd say they're probably like the biggest self-made, or one of the biggest self-made YouTube channels that aren't like GMBN or Pink Bike or...
In Cannock.
Yeah.
We always joke around and say, we're famous in Cannock.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, where's
No,
Cannock?
you are one of the biggest self-made ones that aren't like Sam Pilgrim or Pink Bike or,
Basically
just
pro riding.
regular guys riding bikes. I'd say you're probably the biggest. I've not actually looked at the stats. Have you ever looked at it?
Nah, and do you know what? I looked to see how many subscribers I had today, just in case you asked me. Because I don't look at them. I just don't look at that
3
sort
out
of
of
stuff.
6.
Huh?
Did you look?
And a few zeros.
We check.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Because there's a bit of not competitiveness, but
Yeah.
you say about the level in Cannock, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's healthy. I try not to get too caught up in it all, really.
Yeah.
And I think,
Well, I don't, but then he messaged me, how many subscribers have we got? Oh, fucking hell. How much we made off the YouTube? £16 in 6 months.
yeah.
We cannot yet retire.
And I think if it was all going a lot faster,
Yeah.
maybe I'd be like more in tune with it. But it all started off just us being a bunch of friends that wanted to have fun on bikes, and we were
Best
documenting it just so we could learn from how we were doing. Do you know what I mean? And so each time we put a video out, we weren't like watching how many views we got or what the comments were like. I weren't ever sort of trying to cater towards the viewers either. It wasn't like this would be entertaining for them. It was just so when we got old and we couldn't do it anymore, we could say, how the grandpas, when I was a lad, I used to jump on and whatever else. And we'd be like, prove. Yeah, no, we can go, look, see, son, grandson or whatever.
Watch me eat this tree.
Yeah, watch me break my back in 2 places.
It's got my name on it.
yeah, so...
Are you going to put a plaque on that tree?
Nah. We should do.
We need to put a plaque on that tree.
Do you know, it's funny because... did you watch the Smithy accident?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, so when someone crashes and they're in our group, I tend to be the first one to get there and be like don't move, and I take over the situation, and I believe I know what's right,
You're the father figure.
Yeah, and then when it was me, I just didn't listen to any of my own advice. I was like, get up, get up.
I'm okay.
Don't be a wuss, you've moaned for too long already.
Yeah, man, get off.
Best thing you can do is get back on your bike.
Walk it off.
Yeah. I could hear people saying like, "Don't move, mate, don't move," and I thought, no, because this is embarrassing, and you do. You just slot into this embarrassment mode, which we shouldn't really. But I twiggled my toes a little bit and then moved. I thought, oh, that's great. My legs moved. Okay, that's great. I went to get up and I was like, oh, that ain't good. That ain't good.
It's what blokes do, though, isn't it? You just like, oh, I'm alright, get up, and then you're like, hang on.
I think just you kind of riders in general, like, you kind of get so used to having knocks and bumps, you just think, get up and walk. But obviously for you, bit of a different story, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that was 8 weeks ago now, and I think I've been doing
8 weeks.
Yeah, we're in the 9th week now, and I've been sort of from that day I hit the tree and me sort of wiggling my toes. I've been doing those tests ever since. Just from a very small scale all the way up to... So this morning was the first time I stretched after...
I was what he's going to say though.
You know, I was on the phone in the car park. Says, I'm a bit worried because Adam's in, brings the work straight in me.
This morning was my first time.
He says, what do you mean? Like? And I was just like, I turn into a silly kid.
What else have you not done for 8 weeks then?
Did it hurt to have a shit?
No. So there's a few things. So I've been able to walk from the start, which I feel very privileged to have been able to have done that. I was very lucky overall, I think. But yeah, being out, one of my biggest fears is having to ask someone to wipe my bum for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, just swung him.
That's what I did last time too.
Is that your first like injury accident you've had?
It's not. No, it's the first lot of bones I've ever broken. The first bone I've ever broken. I've never broken any bones.
So
yeah. So I thought I'd start with the back. It was my L2 and L4 lumbar, which goes across your vertebra.
That helps me.
Yeah.
So basically, it's that bit there.
Yeah.
Very close to being paralysed.
Lumbar is that bit in your back, but
the trees don't move, do they?
No.
This one didn't. So yeah, I did get to see the X-ray, which was a bit gutting. So to me, it kind of didn't happen either. And with all this fluid building up on my back, it's kind of masked what's really going on behind there. So my biggest issue really has been the internal bleed I've had next to my kidney, which seemed to fire up every time I coughed or sneezed.
So have you got to go back for a check-up?
Yeah, so I've got a consultation on Monday where I'll they'll sort of review me and see how things are and whether I'm sort of healing well, and it's time to sort of take on some...
And your first question is going to be, can I write about you?
I don't think I'm going to ask, because then you might get the answer you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
So on the pictures you put on...
So you asked if I've ever had a crash.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
The only other injury I've had was in Llandegla. It was on the B-line, second section, first running, and there was just some mud at the bottom of a little drop, and I just went whoosh and dislocated my left shoulder, and had to ride the rest of the trail on arms because I didn't know any fast route back.
Was it floppy?
Like that? Yeah. I was just like that. And actually that took far longer than this, but I weren't bedbound. I didn't have to have any time off work or anything like that. I just couldn't ride because I had no strength and had to do all the rehab stuff.
Shoulders sucked.
It's all the nerve endings and that in there. So I hadn't broken any bones, but it was really badly damaged. So it took a bit of recovery, that did. But that was like about 5 years ago. So a bit like childbirth, you kind of forget, I guess.
So how long have you been riding for?
From what I hear.
So if that was 5 years ago, how long have you been riding?
So I started riding about 2010.
That's your third time then?
Yeah. I mean, my first downhill experience, I was age 6, and I was on one of these. I was on my first bike, chopper. Mark 1.
I've still got my chopper.
Yeah, you still got it?
Yeah.
Mark 1 chopper I had with the 3 gears on the front,
Wicked.
which I broke the 3 gears and they didn't get fixed, so I ended up just having no gears at all, just a single cog. And I was over at my local park, East Park, and there's a big sort of clock tower in the middle of the park with a bank down the edge of it, and there was a BMX track at the bottom, and I was like, I'm going to ride down this. And there was no one else there, and I was at the park with my mum's friend's daughter, so she was a bit young and didn't really know how to sort things out when it went wrong, but I went down there, hit this tyre, front wheel went like that, and I landed on the handlebars right in my groin. So Yeah, I ended up at the Royal Hospital, which no longer exists, but yeah, and had an old school X-ray where you have to strip down totally.
Yeah.
My favourite X-rays.
He just does it. He just does it all the time.
Yeah.
He just stands there.
Can I get an old school X-ray?
Link below.
And they sort of sat me on this metal plate which was freezing cold, so that didn't help. Told you, mate. Yeah, so that was my first sort of downhill experience, if you like, and then there was a good few years where I just sort of rode in the street and what have you, and we'd do like bike rides to the park or.
So did you ride BMX like after that?
No, my dad bought me my first brand new bike was a BMX. I only had 2 new bikes, brand new ones. And that was a BMX. I remember it had one of those shields, race shields on the front with a number 7 on it. And that was the most important part to the bike for me, was that I had this shield because it made me look like some stuntman.
BMX
like
bandits.
Yeah,
Protected you from all the zombies.
Yeah, and stupid me left outside the shop without locking it up, and it went. So I went home crying to my dad. And he's a hero. He went and got it back. I didn't hear the story. I don't know if that guy's alive anymore.
There's
I don't know who it was. I just know my dad walked back in and went, "There you go, son. Lock it up next time."
No, fair play.
Super dad.
So I mean, I came in too late. So I mean, I've always had bikes. I've always had like, you know, I've been lucky. I've had a fair few bikes, but only nothing like high end, nothing like mega expensive. I always thought bikes were worth like £100 a time.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean,
Everyone does when you get started, isn't it?
It's, you know, that's what I thought. Yeah. So it's only been the past 4 or 5 years that we've really started getting into it. I mean, you've always been on bikes, haven't you? I mean, your photos from your Instagrams, you've
there's a bit of a break
in your garden.
Well, if you watch a couple of podcasts back, you can see the entire history of Adam's riding.
There's a little bit, but then there's a break because of my first girlfriend. So there was that like break.
Different riding.
Yeah, literally.
Different. I thought you meant different riding.
No.
So I was going
and then kind of got back into it after that. So yeah, I've been riding quite a while, which obviously helps and makes a difference. You know.
But it's mad how it does bring everybody together.
It does,
you know.
yeah. And the most random people as well with different backgrounds. I love that.
So Cooper, you've been riding bikes how long?
5 minutes in total.
Yeah.
I rode as a kid up and down the street.
You could never turn left though, could you?
I couldn't turn left, yeah.
You ain't joking.
No, he still gets on a bike now. It takes him ages to try and turn.
When I get on a bike, I have to.
We still need to do that video.
We
so.
do.
I go forward. I go all the way around right.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We've had this conversation.
Yeah, we had that whole conversation with Ad. Yeah, you sorted him out.
I'm not.
It'll
We
come.
can't fix him. It's just
It'll come.
he's basically dead.
It comes every time. Well, I mean, like, about 5 minutes into a ride, I go, oh right, there we go. I can go right, but then I can't look that way if I'm going that way.
We figured just don't look that way.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes and hope for the best.
Johnny's trick.
Sounds like you might want to like take up velodromes.
Yeah.
Speedway.
Yeah. But go the wrong. I think they go left.
I was going to say they do.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
just go, just
Take
hold
your
it for
chest.
yourself and go right.
NASCAR, making a left turn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I started on BMXs. Like I lived on a BMX as a kid.
Yeah.
That was like I go to school on a BMX. Back on BMX. I had my bike saddle nicked once at school. Actually, I had to
Your
ride
bike's
back with that
saddle?
saddle. Yeah, I had a brand new. I was the same. A brand new saddle. I was well happy with it. Got out and it was gone. But yeah, my dad didn't go and get it back.
I did flatland for a
My
short
dad
while.
didn't find
I'm
myself.
sure he did a lot of other good stuff.
Yeah, I did flatland for a very, very short time. Like everybody was like into vert stuff, you know, doing the ramps, and I was a little bit scared of that. And then I watched a kind of videotape, and it was this guy spinning around, you know, doing all these crazy tricks like on the ground, and I was just like, wow. But he was totally brakeless. And I just never had the gut skill to be brakeless, so like he's always braked, you know, because his brakes was always there.
I only had a rear bike on my BMX. We used to go down this thing called the U-dip, like massive ramp, and you go up and you take off every time, but like we'd never land it. It'd be a case of see how high you can get, and then kick your bike away and land on your feet. So yeah, I was always good at taking off, just landing on my feet.
It's funny because back then, although I had my first story of going down on that bank on the top, I didn't really know. I just thought it'd be fun to go, and I didn't realise that there was anything that people were doing as a sport like that. Yeah, and even the BMX track was just a bunch of tyres that were buried in the ground, and I didn't know what to do with that. And so it was when I was about 12, think it was about 12 or 13. I used to go to a local youth club, which was like sort of Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and on account of the state that we came from, it was something we really looked forward to, you know. And they got a grant to build. There's a guy, one of the leaders there, was really into mountain biking, and they got a grant to build up a load of bikes. So we built up about 13 hardtails. I couldn't tell you this, because we were clueless. And looking back, they probably should have got us more involved in the build of them all, really. But this is how it went. He just went, right, we've got these bikes ready. We're taking you off mountain biking. So, okay, great. So, and you like, I've got counter estate fitness, which is like, I can run. I'm great at knocking a door and running and hiding behind the bush.
And jumping over hedges.
Yeah. But when we're talking about climbing a hill on a bike, like you walk up them, don't you? Like that's why they're called push bikes. Anyway, so anyway. What we didn't realise, he took us to Bagridge and he like entered us all into a race.
No.
It's like I do with Coop.
I'd never even like ridden a mountain bike at that point. So like we got entered into this race. I'm at the like race line, look, and it's free. It's not like timed.
Okay.
We're all just go off together.
Mass start.
Yeah, and I just like looked across and everyone's keyed up and like, helmets on and all this. I'm like, okay, well, I was confident. I don't know, I was just a confident kid, so I just believed I was going to do well in it. Do you know what I mean? And off we went, and they just went boom. And they got to the first corner. I was like, right, I'll catch them up. Got to that corner, and it was a hill, and they were at the top of the hill when I got to the corner. So I started riding up the hill, and I did about a quarter of the hill, and I was like, I can't do this. So I jumped off the bike, started running up, got to the top of the hill, nowhere to be seen. I turned around, walked back.
Oh, really?
I didn't finish.
This sounds like me now. This is what's like going out with like Andy and whatever else, and Jake.
You almost pointed at me then.
I'm telling you, mate, honestly, genuinely, that's why I had to go to the dark side, because that's the difference. And again, I've got a question for you later about it. But that's the difference with e-biking. It does bring everybody back to some sort of level. But I've always been shit on hills. Yeah. I mean, the first time we went out, I said it was the lads from work, Dale and Dave. They started me. I've never been to Cannock before, so I moved over here a few years ago. And they said, we all ride over Cannock and whatever else. So I bought this bike, I bought a white 901. And I said, right, where do we meet? And they took me to the Monkey Start, bottom of the kick bag.
Yeah.
Now these guys have been riding. Dave's been riding all his life. He's always lived over this way. And Dale's a pretty good rider and rode for a fair time as well. And I remember when he said about going up the hills, they took me up Kickback Hill. That was the first.
Long, isn't it?
I hadn't been on a bike for 10 years.
It was blowing at your ass, wasn't it?
I tell you what, it took me 15 minutes to talk. I thought I was going to die. I'm pedalling to try and say what he's saying about going up the hill and keeping with him. I thought, I've never felt this before, the way I'm feeling at the moment. And I got to the top, and I literally, there's like a post, like one of the way markers that faces telling you not to go back down. I was like crouched down on the ground with my back against it, leaning. 15 minutes, they thought I was going to die. They genuinely thought I was going to die. So yeah, that just sounds like me now. So yeah, that's why I went to.
I love that you're so passionate about e-bikes now.
It's not passionate, it's just the fact it is. I've always been against them.
He was passionate about hating them for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Did
so I
you
was
hear
passionate
about
about hating them. So, and I have this at work now. And Dale bought this. So he bought the white the 160 E160 RSX, is he? He's kept his all-buyer and he's got a hardtail, and he's hardly been out on his E, to be fair. He's been out and he took the all-buyer out the weekend, and all I've heard today is, it's different, there's no way I could just have an e-bike, this, that and the other. I said, yeah, but your fitness has dropped, but you haven't been on a bike at all. Yeah. I mean, you've had your e-bike, he's probably been on it, he's had it probably 6 months, and he's been on it probably 7 times. On his all-buyer, he used to be out every Saturday. He used to ride Clent. Have you ever rode Clent? Come over Clent. It's the fucking worst place in the world. I said I wouldn't swear on there, and I've swore twice. It's the worst place in the world to go on an analogue bike, unless you're fit.
It's and like the Golfies as well, from what I hear.
And I went on the e-bike last week, and it's one of the best places you can ride. And that's the difference with it. Yeah. It is a completely different game.
We went out Monday, and one of our mates rides a kind of normal bike, and unfortunately he got a bit ill, and that was kind of prior to the day. So there was 3 of us going out, all on Eames, and it was like, right, we're going to go out, we're going to kill the batteries, we're going to go like proper e-bike, stayed off all the main trails, kind of kept it sensible, but really at that level. And I got back, checked my Strava, and it was like my heart rate was like 158, like if like most of the ride. So it was like on that motor top or above it, going through, and every time we stopped, we were like, no, I got my eco turn right the way down as well, so it lasts ages. But you're working, you're still pumping, and people was like, why are you so tired? And it was just like, you need to ride one to understand it. It's just that, yes, it gives you assistance, but it assists you to that other level. What I will say is, on a normal bike, you do go downhill faster. Because my Giga compared to Megawatt, it's night and day.
I found that with
it's so much faster.
When I first had the e-bike, I thought, I'm going to go out and I'm going to come back and not be blowing. But it was like the first time I'd been out in a long time and come back, my legs were aching. Like I compared it to the road biking, because when I used to do the road biking, your legs are continuously spinning. And it's the same. My legs were continuously going, as opposed to a bit like that, and then stopping a bit, and then getting back on or whatever.
It's strange, isn't it, that you pedal more, and you'd think that because you got more speed, you'd be able to not pedal as much.
Well, I found I didn't lose fitness as well. Like when I turned up to the race, the Winter Classic, my e-bike error. So I went back, got my analog bike, jumped on that, and I felt fine, and I was still did really well on it. And I was thinking, oh my god, this is going to be horrible because I've not ridden it in a while. But
that was the difference though, because you'd been on your Eve a hell of a lot, and you'd probably actually been on your Eve a hell of a lot more in that short period of time because you had it than you had your analog. And this is what I was saying to Dale. Dale said he was all riding with his brake on because that assistance wasn't there. And I said, but you've got no fitness at the moment because you haven't been on any bike. Well, that was one of the questions. So we put it was one of our videos we premiered. I don't know whether it was one of the podcasts or whatever. And you said on there, don't do it. We've only just got Justin back. So why are you not going e-bike?
Because he's as fit as anything.
So first of all, I've got nothing against e-bikes or e-bikers.
Just to change, you're not
make it really clear. No, because I believe at some point I'll have an e-bike. And I'd have can't be far. We're all about the same age, isn't it?
That's not
younger. We might talk about numbers, eh?
Here's the pup.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the pup.
We're still within the lottery numbers. Though,
Yeah.
We ain't gone past the bonus.
I think they get to 59 now.
So I mean, what I like about e-bikes is that it's brought some of the people that were into mountain biking back. Those guys that had injuries or couldn't get their fitness back and love the sport, and it's brought it back for them, and I love to sort of hear those stories. I think it's great. I think anyone that's got a sort of a form of disability or injury or whatever it is, anyone that can get them back out on trails, I'm all for.
Just ride a bike.
Yeah.
You borrowed one from it, didn't you?
So I've had a few rides out, and every one of them I've really enjoyed. Had a great time. Mainly because I'm a bit of an explorer. I like to go and find out those trails, and that's what they're great for.
That's what I love.
There's been times I've been exploring on my own bike. And I'm like, what if I get to the top and there's nothing there?
Well, we went to the peaks, didn't we? And we've been to the peaks before, done the same route, and you're blowing, and you think, I'd like to go over there, but it's this time I've got to get back to the car. But we on the e-bike, it was like, that looks like a really cool rock. Do you know what I mean? We just go over there and come back. Whereas any other time we'd be like, I ain't doing that because they'll be knackered, and then I've got to get back, and then I'll be like,
we love exploring, and we love off-piste. And the one thing I will say is what I still hate and still can't stand about e-bikers, there isn't any other mechanic. You have to go other places. It's not Fight Club, innit? Don't talk about Fight Club. The one thing that I do hate about e-bikes, and unless, like you said, I suppose there's a disability aspect or whatever else, is being on the trails. I don't understand it. And we went out. I went out with a mate of mine a couple of weeks ago, and we had to do a bit of traversing, and the trail was the easiest thing to do. And and it's genuinely not like being on a bike.
No.
And I don't get why.
Especially
unless there's a
it depends on the trails, because like
it's a trail ride.
it depends on the individual trails though, because you're talking about like the dog and monkey.
Yeah, which is fine.
Whereas when my other bike was in the shop, I went out and ride with somebody and I was on the e-bike and did the dog, and it was just boring.
Yeah.
It was like riding round a flat.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just and it was pointless.
Yeah.
But other trails,
Forest of Dean.
yeah, Forest of Dean, like those kind of trails, yeah. But I think specifically Cannock trails.
It's not something I'd buy for. No.
Just going back to that comment about us just getting Justin back, why that was so important is that Justin sort of jumped ahead of the group really and went and got an e-bike, and there was no need because his fitness on a regular bike was really good at that point, and he just went and bit the bullet and did it, and then he spent a year trying to convert the rest of us. Like,
Failed.
Yeah. Like, I was hanging on to Ash going, don't do it, Ash. Like, I mean, Ash is the fastest at getting up the hills. Yeah. He's like super fit. He's the youngest out of the lot of us. He's super light. I'm like, you don't need one. Like, so it's almost like me and Justin were at each other trying to get Ash to keep Ash on side.
Holding on to his
shirt.
Like.
And he was the one that decided to go back to a regular bike, but I think he just got a bit fed up of waiting at the top of the hills for us, and not get and then not feeling like he had more to give at the end of a ride. So, but no, I mean, a full group of us. There must be about 4 e-bikers within that group.
Yeah.
But we're all a mix.
It works though, doesn't it?
It works.
Well, we've got the good mix now. Or if I'm just going out with the guys and there's no e-bikers come out, I'll just take the hardtail out. Yeah. Or if I'm doing the dog, then I'll take that.
So I'll just boost everywhere and not.
Either do I.
You're one of them.
When I tested, I think it was Woods' bike.
You're one of them.
And I rode all the way to Cannock on it. I rode round the dog and the
I don't
monkey,
touch boost, that's all.
all in boost mode. And then I had to climb Kitbag Hill and it run out. And I had to literally climb Kitbag Hill and ride 10 mile back to home on a flat e-bike.
See, is that more difficult to ride a flat e-bike than it is a...
Yeah, they weigh like a lot.
And you've got the resistance of the road travelling.
Yeah.
The motor. So that's what I was going to say though. So when you said you touched on about downhill on an analog bike, to me, I'm faster on a down. If you've got, which again, Cannock's like, well, not Cannock, the off-piste that I ride sometimes elsewhere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of traversing pedally sections, and you're on the limit. As soon as you come out of the down, you're on the limit, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I can't. I'd be going faster if I was.
I found that go down lower cliff. Going down lower cliff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you get to them bits where you normally kick in, you're like, it's just pushing you back.
And you just go stand up and crank past it. And
and I definitely see that. That's a big down point. That's probably one of the biggest down points. But sorry, go on.
It's alright, come on. No, just shaking this. Like
it's been a lollipop, man. Thanks to both Ad and Ryan for bringing sweets, by the way.
No worries.
I was going to bring beer, but we got pushed forward, so I didn't get to the shop.
What I was going to say, we went out for a ride. It's probably been some time now, isn't it?
Yeah, we do.
And it was a great day. I was on the e-bike because he's super fit. And I'm not kidding you. We went off on this route, which went back to Birches Valley. And he was going through, and then it climbed. And I'm not kidding you. He went up it as if there was an e-bike up underneath him, and he was climbing. And I was just like, I'm having to work hard here. Like I'm pedaling an e-bike, actually pedaling, trying to keep up with him, and he had gone. So.
Thanks for the reminder. That's how much work I've got to do now.
But your mates are there to help you, so it's okay, mate.
When on those times when I have been on an e-bike, I don't know if you get this, but when I'm like behind someone that's on a regular bike, I have this guilt. Like I feel bad
on the trail.
And when they pull over to let me pass, I feel like they're almost frustrated with me, and I'm going sorry. I ride a regular bike normally, and I just honestly I can't help but say it if I feel there's a bit of tension there.
Keep a rope on and say, grab me rope. Pull them up.
No.
Or just don't give them a choice. Lasso them.
I just start pushing the back.
The only other defence I would have is and again when you said about bringing people back to mountain biking, the one thing I was really starting to dislike about mountain biking is a lot of riders who I do ride, or a group of riders that I do riding, are a lot better than me. Not only on hills but downs and whatever else. So like, no, I've got over it a bit more now. But the dislike I had was the best example I can use is we went to Landegla and we went on a Christmas ride with work, and a lot of them are mountain bikers. They've done it for a long time, and they are a hell of a lot better. One of them is more of an anti-e-biker than I've ever been as well.
Really?
But you get to the top, and because I'm at least experienced, and I'm never great, and never probably will ever be on an analog bike on hills anyway. You used to get to the top, and you were absolutely knackered. You've done like 10 mile already. You're grinding up this hill to get to the top, and they're waiting probably like 5, maybe 10 minutes on some of the hills. And by the time you get there, they're like, "Come on, let's go now."
Yeah.
And you're like, so then the enjoyment of being on your bike has gone because you just.
That's exactly how I feel.
Jesus Christ, I can't do this anymore. And then for the rest of the ride till you got to you just want to get back to the car.
Yeah.
There's an easy answer. You have to go into that.
Get fitter.
Don't go uphill.
Change your friends.
And it's not their fault. But again, so then if they wait even longer, then their enjoyment's coming out of it.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be somebody who's going to lose some enjoyment, and that was one of the biggest things I hated. Clens, for example, as I said, Clens close to where we work, they ride it all the time, and they can hammer it. I've only ever done it 2-3 times before I went up the other week on my eve, and it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. Now, it shouldn't be a point of doing something you want to do, being on your bike, and it being horrendous.
Yeah.
The e-bike takes that out, and the guys you ride with now, you're with them, up and down, and it does bring the enjoyment back.
I don't know, it depends on who you are though as well, because I used to enjoy the fitness. Do you know what I mean? I still enjoy the
You're
battle.
beasted, don't you?
Yeah, you feel like you've owned it. You mean like you've earned it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
It's, I think what's tough is when, like you say, you get to the top and they're ready to go. You've just earned that climb, like you've earned the descent, yeah, and that's what that's why you climbed in the first place. So that should be fun. And if I've done it a few times, going down a real sort of steep, fast descent when you're exhausted is so dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't enjoy it. You feel like you're going to. So I should be flowing really fast. Really, I'm braking too much because my arms are fatigued.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that rest at the top of a hill is really important to
Yeah.
get that fun enjoyment factor at the
Yeah.
descent.
So if you've got the e-bike now,
Yeah.
you're selling one of the bikes, weren't you?
Still for sale.
Still for sale.
Can't sell bikes at the minute,
Yeah.
can you?
I sold mine in a week. What are you doing?
So you keep it? Are you going to just be e-bike only now, or are you?
No, I switched. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, when you sell.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Right.
you've got the
Giga
as well. Yeah.
The Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to as soon as like I get a bit of cash
Mm.
handy, I'm buying a 27.5 inch rear wheel for it, which will just help it be a bit more pedally.
Make yourself a mullet.
Yeah, the 29 just feels like at that slow speed.
Do you have to get the rear triangle on
Like
that as well?
no, there's a fancy little.
Oh yeah, you've got the
linkage
flip
system
thing,
there.
haven't you?
No, it's not a flip chip. It's an actual
Oh,
linkage, but it's
is
all,
it?
yeah, you just take it off, put that one on, and
Oh,
it just changes all.
Oh yeah.
There's no flip chips.
Oh cool.
There is a kind of progressive like switch at the bottom which changes the angle slightly.
I thought it was the Giga that had the flip on it, which is the one. One of the new proofs has got that on, hasn't it?
Reactor, I think.
Is it the
Is it
reactor?
the reactor?
No, but you point it down a hill and it feels like a total like downhill bike. And if you read any like bike kind of what's the name review of it, about them, everyone says the same thing. The bike feels so much more than what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like downhill bikes, you can literally point and shoot at anything, and then you think that's it. You know, and every other bike, you know, is going to feel a little. Like,
I loved my mullet ever since I had the first one, just because I'm short. So I've got the big wheel on the front for climbing, but get down on the back with that. Just
doesn't help you climbing.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
Well,
Well, for bowling, I mean, you know what I mean?
Going
I mean,
downhill,
like,
yeah, rolling, yeah.
not so much climbing a massive hill. I mean, bowling big
Yeah.
rocks essentially.
Yeah,
So that's the thing with the canyon being a mullet. So the canyon descends like a demon, these spectral.
Yeah.
However, climbing, you do the front lifts,
Yeah.
and that is a big. It descends better. I think.
E-bike course. Skillsloop.
Steve. Is it Steve Jones from EMBN? He said. You know, I think I'm sure it was him that said it descends better than it goes up, or it might have been off-road.
Like a short change days or something.
Yeah, they said it descends better than it climbs. We mentioned the channel earlier. Now, the first time I heard about the channel was we was at Black Mountain, and one of the guys subscribes to the channels, and he was saying, "Oh my God, Charles Pike Bills are over there," and I was like, Trials Don't Pay Bills. So yeah, tell us a bit about the channel. Where did it come from, and who thought the name is what I'm kind of interested in.
Accurate.
It's better than Skillsloop.
It's got a bit of mine as well.
He came up with that first and then tried to think of something to stand for it.
It's a funny story. So a group of lads that like riding together, simple as that. And
Tony, Dave, Peter, and Barry.
not quite no. And we got to the end of the ride, and like most rides, you then go, so when we at next? Because you're all buzzing and you're like, we've had such a good time. Like, when you went next? You went next week. And at the time, I worked every other weekend, so I'd only get out for 2 rides a month generally, which wasn't enough, and was part of the reason why I changed my job in the end. But yeah, so at the end of this ride, one of the lads says, "You out next week?" And I says, "Nah, mate. It's like, trials don't pay bills." And everyone started laughing. And my point was like, I've got to work because that's what pay the bills. The trials down, unfortunately. And that was it. And then a few weeks later, I'd said to "You out next week?" And the same lad said, "No, mate, trials don't pay bills." And I went, that's good. That is. Where'd you get that from? And he went, "You? What?" He's like, "Yeah, you said it the other week. Don't you remember?" And I was like, and it sort of come back to me. I've always thought it'd have been a better story if the missus said it, if I'm honest with you. Because you're out there on bikes all the time, you need to get some money and pay these bills. I thought that was always be a better story, but we're not lawyers, so that was the truth. And so that's all it was. It was like a sort of slogan that stuck with us, and then we decided to call ourselves that, only for ourselves. We all had YouTube channels, and we were just putting our own videos out on our own channels, which were pretty much unedited. And it was just so that we could sort of see how we were getting on. And then there's a lad called Jay who was part of the group. He says, why don't we all just put it all into one channel? Like, I don't mind opening this channel up and let's just all put our videos into one. So we started to do that, and then it started to sort of get a bit of traction, and it kind of took off from there. And you get a little bit excited when people start commenting and noticing you out there, and that you get to be excited.
Asking questions like, "Oh, what's this?" You think, "Oh, yeah."
I remember the first person that like recognised me, and I was like walking out of a pub. What? Surprised you recognised me? No, we'd just been for beer after we had a ride, and I had some Ryan. And looked at him, I don't know. And then you start to worry, well, do I know him? And I've forgotten his name. And he's like, "Hey, you doing, Ryan? You're right." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, you don't know who I am, do you?" And I was like, "No, sorry." And he's like, "I know you so well because I watched the channel. I just thought you'd know who I was." Do you know what I mean? And I feel the same. You know, the people like Matt Jones, I feel like if I bumped into him, I feel like I know him.
Yeah.
And you almost expect them to know you back because of how well you know them and their life. And it was a strange experience.
I think that's one of the good things about your channel, and probably due to the popularity, is it is so raw and truthful.
It is good.
Like you've just said, it's just like literally
Lads having fun, Bob.
Yeah, you just guys having a good time, doing what you do. No bullshit, no beating around the bush, like, you falling off and saying, "Yeah, this is what happened," sort of thing.
No.
And that's the good thing about it. It's just like
it's real, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's not glossed or like.
I won't clickbait.
Yeah, that's it. There's no gloss around
I've got
it.
a rule,
and it's interesting for that purpose, I think.
I won't clickbait, and I know that if I was to clickbait, I'd get far more views.
Yeah.
That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm like,
if it's an interesting photo.
I'm like, if something happens that's massive, and I feel like, do you know what, that's worthwhile. That's pretty much the video.
Yeah.
Then I'll say it, but otherwise it'll be, what's kind of chase.
Yeah.
So if you're not after views, and that's not something obviously you go for, what's next coming for Trials Don't Pay Bills? So have you got any events coming up that potentially might have videos? You got anything like, you go to Hard Rock? Are we doing Hard Rock this year?
No, and I should. I think I
need to come.
Yeah, I know. You guys have done a couple of years, and this will be second year. Yeah.
Incredible.
I should jump on that, and I'm still. I've only done one race since I was like 12, 13, and that was at Malvern's. I've only done. I was saying to you, I hadn't done a race at that point, so I then went and did the Malverns, and it was a good experience. I was well nervous, and you know, you pedal too much, don't you, in a race? Like when you're in experience, you just pedal too much.
Yeah.
You brake too much and you pedal too much, and so there's a lot of learning around all that. But I don't know what the future looks like for Trails Don't Pay Bills. What I know is that I want to be in the industry, whether that be riding, working, or whatever. Like I want it to be a part of my life for the rest of my life, and the same for my families, as much as I can influence. But now I'm you know, whatever happens. I'm not gonna try and
plan it out.
I'm not going to try and... the aim was never to turn the channel into something that will be a mass success and take over the world. Like, it just wasn't. It was just us documenting our rides, and that's it. It feels like we're going more towards people that are watching more now, because even the time that I've had off now, it's just plummeted, like, you know, and people like, you know, my Saturday mornings aren't the same. Yeah, Saturday mornings, and like, you hear that, and you go like, I lost about 4 subscribers, but like they say, oh, my Saturday mornings aren't the same, and then so like I feel a loyalty to those people to make sure that I give them what they want.
But at the same time,
you
don't want to feel mature. Do you? You know, you've got, it's like the biking, like say getting on top of it, you still got to enjoy it, because it's finding that balance, I think, and that's like what I started as. We just did it for the crack, just because. Well, I started filming because. We was just doing stuff we couldn't do. Like I did an Ironman, tricked him into climbing Snowdon, and then mountain biking just kind of became the thing that we did most.
Yeah.
And then it's the same as you. It was like, well, I've got a camera. And then James Lew at the time, well, I've got a camera. And then we just started compiling it all together, and it just built.
The one thing I'll say from what you said though, just touching on the hard rock side, so I've never entered a race. So I've never raced. So when you're all saying, pedaling and braking too much, I haven't done a race. Always because I haven't had the confidence in terms of my fitness. Now I've got the E, we've entered, so I am doing hard rock this year. Yeah. But hard rock, we went last year and I didn't race, and it was one of the best experiences I've had, and that's just because of the environment.
I didn't even finish the race.
The people you're with, but also just the experience of seeing all that biking. You know, you said about being in the industry, you know, you may struggle. I mean, people are selling tickets. One of our guys on the channel, he's one of his mates was selling 2 tickets, wasn't it? But if you do get a chance just to go for the camping experience, even if you just go down for like one night and a couple of days, it's definitely worth going to do.
Because you've got like Matt Jones and...
Well, Deeks, wasn't it? So we were walking round, we was just walking around the stalls, for anybody who's seen the video, and I just said, there's Deeks over there, and again, a bit like what you say, about people just going up and saying, oh, you watch these people and you know who they are. He's like, oh, you're the cheeky brummy, just go and talk to him and ask if you do the video. And I'm like, yeah, so how Deeks, how you doing? And he's like, just looks at you, and he must have it all the time, so he must be a bit more used to it. And I says, oh, say something, you know, he says, can you say something to the video? But it's been around the people who you love watching, the bikes that you love riding, it's definitely worth going. I mean, what's the camping? Is it like 10 quid or 20 quid for the full weekend?
It's 20 quid if you do the full weekend, or 10 a night, something like that.
But yeah, and if you do go, you're welcome to come and have some beers with us.
Cool. Anyway, you get the same experience from Malverns, don't you?
It's
exactly the
same.
same.
I said I wanted to do
being
I
around,
do want to do Malverns.
Being around the like-minded people, you know.
It's the same time. It's bank holiday, May bank holiday every year, isn't it? No, not May. August bank holiday. Because it's the same year that every time I go surfing, and that's the only reason I've never been, because it's my surfing weekend.
It's that same vibe though. It's like, you know, you can just walk in there and there'll just be people chilling around, sitting there, and then they're kind of evening. You're either up dancing, or you're sat watching, or you're
up dancing.
Sometimes
in a dinosaur costume.
So when did you guys first get introduced then?
Who tells that story? I think I shall tell.
I mean, yours
sounds like a love story already.
It was a love story.
It is.
Touch me.
I'm in the middle.
It's a good job, eh?
I'm never washing that hands again. Ryan, kiss me, guys.
It was lockdown. We were off work, and I was just scrolling, and someone was live on there. In their
single and lonely in my apartment.
Yeah, in the front room. Stripped off. Because he was red hot, weren't he, when we were all up there. And, you know, he's in his flaks, you're not meant to be going outside and that. And he's just shooting himself with a Nerf gun. This is entertaining.
That's my kind of guy.
Yeah, so I just sort of sat there watching him, and then he like got onto his back. Well, he spotted me come on and went, "Oh, Trans don't pay a bill," and I like seen his excitement and enthusiasm, and that. I don't know, if someone's enthusiastic around you, like, you just feed off them, don't you? Like, it's always a great start to any sort of friendship and that. And so, like, yeah, we just started messaging each other, and then next thing you know, he's on his back wheel in his living room, which is like, you know, no bigger than this table at the time. Is he like getting around the sofa? And I don't know.
Maybe more the neighbours downstairs. What's he doing?
He was amazing on there, and that was it. That was the start of it, really, wasn't it? And then we just communicated a lot more, and I got to know him. We've had a few rides. We've spent time together at Malvern's, and he's
family
done
as well.
Yeah, he met my family, and he's done a lot of training sessions with my other half and my daughter Neve. Just last weekend actually.
Big shout out to Neve.
Yeah, the biking girl. So I've seen I haven't seen any bad in him yet, basically. So I'm happy to have him around.
They said that about Jimmy Savile, didn't they?
Don't compare him.
And he's great with kids on the surface.
We'll cut that bit out.
Just want ruin things ever so slightly.
For me, it was like that. When I watched the whole kind of trials don't pay bills type of thing, it was always positive, and it was always happy and buzzing. And I think sometimes you can watch stuff and it is just bike related, and that's not enough. Good for me. Where when you watch something and there's that passion and that fun and excitement, and that thing of what you said, when you get right down to the bottom and you're all fist bumping, it's capturing that, and I think you did that really, really well. And it's like that's good, and that's what caught me, because
and that's
you don't
not,
see it.
like I say, it's not porn or anything. It's just raw, isn't it? That's why it's good.
Like, and it's also not consistent either. So sometimes your days aren't like that, and so the video might not come across the same way. It might seem as exciting and that, but actually that's just the way the day was. Maybe someone had a cold and they were a bit miserable, or maybe the trails weren't flowing as well as they were.
So nobody looked at me when he said miserable.
That's what you think.
We're never going to just sort of create hype for the sake of it. If we're buzzing, we're buzzing. And if the trail's crap, then we'll probably just skip to the next trail.
See, for me, I think it's the relation, the how we relate to the videos. So like it's your early morning starts, when it's dark, and you're all like half asleep, bags under.
You're in the car,
and you look at it, you think, oh, it looks horrendous, but because you do it yourself, it's absolutely brilliant. Waking up early in the morning, sneaking around, loading all the bikes up, and it's that relation to it.
There's a great post, and it was like waking up at 6 a.m. for work, and it's like and then waking up at 6 a.m. and then up at 5 a.m. like
So the one thing from the channel as well is, can you say it for me? Can you say it?
Yeah.
Go and say
I think I know what you're on about.
Yeah.
Yes, YouTube.
Yes, YouTube. That's it. Every time.
Yes, YouTube.
I can't. That weren't. That was Jay. Jay started the Yes YouTube thing. But what we realised is that we say yes. Like, so if I was to say, I was like, yes, Adam. It was a way of greeting someone.
Have you seen the thing on Instagram that it was this girl asking her chap, what's something that men do that girls don't know? And it was really, really so if you meet
what he hasn't
somebody,
been able to do for 8 weeks.
No. If you meet somebody you don't know, you nod, and if it's somebody that you know, you go up and flick upwards. If you think about it, you go,
noticed that.
And I was like, oh,
so that's acceptance, and that's like, you sort of thing.
What's up?
But also, if I've tested this out. If you like, when you're driving through Wales, going to your favourite trails and that, and you see people, especially in the summer, you see people on the street, just do different hellos to people, and they will copy the same one back to you. So if you go hello, they'll go hello. Hiya. They'll go hiya. They'll just copy you.
Me and Coop used to have something like that when we were driving.
Oh, special.
With when people let you through or flash you through, we joint thank people. We go at the same time, and it really confused them. Like when the two guys go at the same time.
Do you ever like drive past people and beep them and wave?
Oh yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
because they always wave back.
My favourite thing to do with Cooper is in a supermarket, right?
Oh,
So, you know, you walk around the corner of an aisle in a supermarket and you see all people down there. You walk as if you're going to walk around the aisle, then you go, excuse me! And just don't walk down the aisle.
But I'm then still
So then he's walking down the aisle and everybody just turns and looks at him. Or like when you pushed me over in IKEA.
Oh, you didn't. I didn't push him over.
You did.
He just went slap on the floor, and everyone looked around him. And, why did you push me?
And then everyone gave him a death stare.
He probably slapped his hands on the floor.
Do you play the trolley game like shopping?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, putting things in other people's
The
trolleys.
best thing was the frozen turkey.
You
Yeah.
put a frozen
Frozen
turkey.
turkey.
Who did you do that?
And we took pictures of ourselves in IKEA as well in setup. So like,
Oh, brilliant.
I got into bed and he was reading me a bedtime story. And like we stripped off in the shower and we were just taking all these pictures. Just bored one day.
This is
And you didn't
why
get kicked
it's
out.
bad.
Oh, and because he's tall enough, you know the lights that point the arrows at which we had to go.
Turns around.
He can turn them around. Yeah, we had IKEA in Dismoil.
That is.
I wanted one
There
of
was a
those.
loop. People were looping.
Just give it a circle.
Sure.
Why have we got another bedroom box? Yeah.
The guy to that. Can we please go to IKEA and go do that?
Yeah. Should we go now?
Sorry guys, we're going.
We do need to get together though and do something. I feel like
yes.
when you're better, obviously we'll go for a ride out.
Yeah.
I think we're doing Northampton Bike Park on the 26th. Is the
It's
next.
all on the socials.
Yeah, but like you've got some groups rides coming up as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I think the work be done because I think they're working on Northampton at the minute. I think
See,
Yeah,
somebody
open.
asked that.
Is it all done? Or?
Yeah.
It
it's
is.
open now,
Ah, fab, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's back on. So we need to get together and do something. I think
yeah.
when my hand's better, back on it, and can do more than a 3-inch bunny hop.
I think the main thing we need to do is hat swap.
That was clever.
And that worked.
Mario.
Luigi!
You are more of a Luigi, aren't you?
Abuse. So a phone number I can ring.
So, are the hats still available anyway?
Yeah. All the merch is still available. I just don't. People say to me, "Why don't you push your merch?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's there. Yeah.
The
I
hats
mention
I'd
it every
highly
night.
recommend. That is the best
They
hat
are
I've ever
very, very
owned.
good.
It was the biggest
My hat.
investment. Yeah, it was the
Your
biggest
hat.
investment, and they cost a lot. Like to be fair, they're not cheap. But it's Scottish wool. Yeah.
Well,
Scottish wool.
while we're talking about merch, it obviously naturally kind of progresses into the into we've got a bit of giveaway.
A massive giveaway. So
So this no.
Jump.
fast sticks, half eaten.
Sneakers.
We have got
Ryan's kindly bought a couple of things in.
some Trials Don't Pay Bills socks.
Rasta Flex.
That's the flex gloves to match. Look at them.
See, I do like them. I didn't even know you did them.
Yeah, I want
I
some of
think
them
just
now.
keep them.
I don't want to give them away now. I really want them.
I'm quite happy with them.
I do
And
think
we've
we need
got
some sort of
2 of the Wilder Fit Trial Star hoodies.
I might cut my head off.
Look at
I
that.
might cut my head off.
So
So stand up.
these-
So we got
The
Sexy,
materials
yeah.
like
windproofing.
yeah, it's like windproof, smooth, flex,
It
stretch.
goes like my girlfriend's stockings a little.
Yeah.
So
No, like super cool.
Not that
feet.
she wears stockings.
So yeah, we've got 2 of them. We've obviously naturally got stickers.
We've got an extra large one of them and a medium one of them. So depending on first level and second level
So
price.
you've either got to eat cake
Yeah.
or you need to not eat
stop.
cake.
And
So
we've got
literally
a
top.
Wilder Fit cap as well. And then we've got a load of Skillsloop stickers.
Stickers.
Yeah.
Wild Fit stickers.
Yeah,
And
Trials Don't Pay Bills
and a
stickers, which
battery.
you can get hold of.
Yeah.
Mass giveaway. And all you've got to do is, first of all, step 1,
Step 1.
go and like and subscribe on Skillsloop, Trials Don't Pay Bills, and Wilder Fit.
Worth it.
Obviously.
Obviously.
We're going to check if you're on there. We will check.
We'll be checking.
Second of all, answer this simple question. What's the question?
The question is, earlier in the video, there was a tattoo show by Ryan, and we want to know what the tattoo was. Are we going specific?
The most specific.
The most specific, yes. The most.
So all you've got to do to enter is leave a comment
or Pacific
on the YouTube. Yeah, Pacific.
So what we're going to give the winner? So we'll give the winner a
hoodie, a cap,
and the
Try Don't Pay Bills, socks and gloves,
and a lollipop.
Lollipop.
You can't
So
choose.
they get the whole. Second place, they can have.
The second one down,
and some stickers.
The first person will get to pick like what size hoodie they want. Second person down gets a hoodie.
That's
and a
great comp. That's a great comp. Just for pressing like.
It is,
And
listening.
And all the other shit.
And listening, of course.
And follow us on Instagram as well.
Yeah, follow everybody everywhere. That's the first thing we're going to check. You can leave your answer in the comments, but if you ain't done that,
it's a great tattoo though. It's a big UFO.
Yeah.
So she used to stick to the.
No, that's mine, the UFO. But, so and we're going to obviously it's not going to be the first person to comment. We're going to pick one of the comments at random and make sure that they've subscribed to all channels. That'll be the winner, and then there'll be a second random winner as well.
I don't remember us talking about a tattoo.
You're not going to win tonight.
No, you're not going to.
When did we talk about a tattoo?
You've been off in your own little world. So Cooper, now we've got the competition out the way. Have you got any news for us? What's new in Cooper's world?
We need a news with Coops.
I need a little dixie.
Today, news with Coop.
Coop's world.
Coop's world.
We're all anticipating.
Oh, nothing special. First of all, thank you for doing this tonight because I accidentally put too much mustard in the pasta and Maria was not happy with me. We were both eating our pasta like this. Nose is running.
Who's puts mustard in pasta anyway?
Cooper.
Mustard and creme fraiche.
Well, okay, carry on.
Bacon bits.
Cooking with Cooper will be next.
That's not really news. That's just thank you for saving me because I literally left the house. And Maria's like looking at me going, you fucking ruined dinner. News. I've been training a lot, doing a lot of walking. No, that's not bike related.
I thought you was looking a little bit like sporty.
Svelte.
Is this for Spartan?
No, this is for Maria is doing the 3 Peaks challenge.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to be
We are the drivers.
Yeah.
Drivers.
In fact, our most watched video on YouTube is the 3 Peaks little mini documentary I did recording it. So this time we're going to film it. We did 3 Peaks from and filmed it from a doing it point of view. This time we're going to film it and do it from a driver's point of view. The drivers of the 3 Peaks, the boring side, but make it entertaining.
Yeah. So we're going to put a link on Wilderfit Facebook if that's all right. Get
please sponsor Coop's
Coop's
Missus
because we're putting a lot of training in for that.
Yeah, we went hiking the weekend actually, didn't we?
We took Harrison.
We dragged Harrison up the Roaches and Lud's Church, and then
I had to carry him
back.
for a bit.
He was moaning, his leg, poor little legs were aching, bless him, to be fair.
When did you get married?
End of May.
Yeah.
End of May.
Oh, so
It's Maybank holiday.
May.
Good time to do it.
Yeah, and it is tough, man. I mean, when I did it, if anybody watches that video, you'll see that like 2 people dropped out of the first mountain, 1 person dropped out of the second mountain, and then after the last mountain, in the middle of the night, 1 person ended up in A&E through dehydration. Yeah.
It was pissing gravy.
I've done it in a big group as well.
Yeah.
It was the same. People were just dropping off after each meeting. Yeah.
It's the middle one, isn't it? It's Scarfell that people don't expect.
Did you go south to north or north to south?
We went north to south.
Yeah.
What's his face off GMBN? The guy, the tall slim guy. He done the XC race abroad and he got really ill.
I saw that video.
Yeah.
Man, he was rough, wasn't he? I felt for him because he said that he was pissing blood.
Yeah.
And when I was training for my ultra marathon, like I got, I think it was about 20 miles into it was meant to be a 60-mile run during training, and I was in agony. And I went to the side of the road, and honestly, it looked like I was pissing KFC gravy.
Really?
It was agony. I had to ring the missus to come and get me. Yeah. So when I saw him doing that, I was like, I felt for him.
He pushed past that as well, didn't he? You could see it in his face. He'd like,
I feel poor though.
Should have got an e-bike, shouldn't they?
You can feel the pain, can't you?
Should have got an e-bike into the future.
That is the future.
So when I was telling you when you bought yours.
This is the thing, and I kind of just chuckle inside now because it was like, oh, e-bikes, e-bikes. And then it's like, e-bikes are the future. No, the future is now.
And I had a go on yours, didn't I, first? Because we got the same bike, and he was like, have a go. And that's, I think, that was the second time I'd ridden one. And I was like, actually, yeah, this is alright. So it's Adam's fault, though.
So to be fair, I did say I was only going to go on the bird. I was only going to go on the bird e-bike when I bought the bird e-bike out. There is a bit of an update on that, just if anybody is interested. So it looks like it's not going to be a full e-bike either now. A full powered e-bike. So from like speaking to Dan, being on the socials and stuff, they've been asking some questions regarding light powered and stuff.
Those are like really popular at the moment,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah, like the SLs on the lead.
I don't know what motor he's going to go for, but I think he's really turned off with Shimano. But again, I mean, you're Shimano, I'm Shimano.
Yeah, I'm Shimano.
Yeah, we're all Shimano.
I'm Shimano.
But don't do it. Have you heard about the updates?
I don't update.
So they're saying that there's a fair bit of info for the e-bikers who've got Shimano that it seems to be losing connection around 59%.
My rule is if it works, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably 10 updates behind because it works.
Yeah.
Why do I need to update it? Like it's not going to get a bug put down from Apple or Samsung, is it? It's working. It's fine. It's the second motor as well. So and the first motor, I did all the updates because I was like, oh, take care of it, make sure it's updated, and it broke. So and then it's fine.
I don't think you should tow. To be honest, I don't think anyone should tow when you're on an e-bike. I think it puts too much pressure on it.
I think it does if you don't use your gears. Like I watch people that are like grinding and they're still in like fourth gear, expecting it. And the whole kind of Shimano motor loves to spin.
Yeah.
So
it's got to have cadence, the Shimano.
You can hear it. I mean, the good thing about it is the screen. So if your screen's like right at the top, the power, you're pulling a lot of.
Not all of them.
What's that?
ET found.
Not all of them.
Oh.
Mine. So the Canyon comes with the previous display.
Really?
You can get the new one though.
You can get it.
Ours tells you get the power, so you can kind of judge it. Did you know? Just going off on a little thing there, tangent. It's ET home phone, not phone home.
I did.
I think that's Mandela effect.
It is Mandela effect.
Yeah.
It's going to get deep.
This sounds really.
Anyway, skip that anyway.
It's still biking in a way, I suppose.
It was
a basket.
So anyway, that's Cooper's news.
Hey!
Oh, and also he's going to be on telly soon because he's been filming a TV show.
Oh, really?
Lately.
That's cool,
and on Amazon Prime and stuff like that. He's there as the cameraman, action cameraman, with the repo man.
I think you said something about that last time. That's cool.
Yeah, coming soon.
That is very cool. You're not just good looks, are you, mate?
No.
So obviously you are off the wheels at the moment, but
on the mend.
Have we got any group rides coming up? Because yours are always pretty big group rides. So.
Yeah, I always have this ambition of creating a big ride, and then it gets close and I'm like, I won't put it out too much now. We'll just rein it in a little bit because I'm always worried that the group will be too big and I can't manage it, and people get annoyed and say, oh, that was rubbish because I know we were left behind or whatever. I just worry about the people. They say I worry about them too much and I should just get on with the riding, but it's difficult. So I did say that I'd do a comeback ride, which it's likely to be Canuck, I think.
Come back!
Yeah, yeah.
Baby,
don't leave me! Will I train before that? I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, of course.
So I'll put it out on Instagram, I think, and just that's how I usually do it. And yeah, I'll put it out there, and hopefully we'll get a load of people coming and we'll just have some fun.
Awesome.
You're looking a bit warm though, mate. I think we should do a quick hat swap.
He just went, I'll be lying.
I'll feel
It's so
better
long. Just can see him go.
Put your was in there.
Yeah, so to wrap it up then, we have got the competition. Get involved with that.
Get involved.
Obviously, like all the channels. And your answer as to what tattoo Ryan has got. There is going to be a comeback ride. Keep an eye out for that. We are going to organise something of a ride of us all together, and I think we should get Cooper out on it as well.
I think so.
Just be hilarious.
Yeah. I'm going to try and buy one of these funny Chinese strap-on electric things I have and see if I can make my own electric bike.
Okay.
He said strap on, he was like, what?
Literally, I'm just gonna get some fireworks or something.
I think they've got their own fireworks videos I've seen online.
Well, if they all subscribe right now, we might be able to fund
Rocket bike.
Yeah, rocket bike.
With the 16 quid we've made so far.
I'm quite impressed with 16 quid.
Fueled by mustard.
That's a t-shirt, isn't that?
Yeah.
See, that's just another great name for a YouTube channel, isn't it? Like he just comes out with them.
Keep us out.
That's going to be copyrighted, by the way. You can buy the copyright from Ryan.
Yeah, so we'll organise a joint ride. We're doing Northampton on the 26th, and there's a few other rides coming up as well.
Hard Rock's
Rock's going to be awesome. Book up with Adam.
Yeah, there's
Skillsloop.
plenty of dates on there now. With the kind of summertime is like rolling in now, so it's starting to pick up again. Like all the people are crawling out from their nice warm beds and nice warm houses.
Is mine still the wettest ride?
No, but that was pretty wet where we were just stood there in the
He's got his hat now though, got him for his birthday.
That was wet.
He's got his umbrella hat.
Adam got me wet.
I actually used it a few days ago to go from the garage to the house. It's so good. It works really well.
He's like a lucky
But it
lucky
does
man.
give me a headache because I've got quite a big head, so he's pressing a little bit.
He's like Luigi dressed as a lucky man.
It's getting the summer cap, with the spinning big necks.
Now it's like a big umbrella.
Yeah, I remember seeing the umbrella hat.
Great.
Like, yeah, for the summer you can have the spinning one.
So yeah, jump on skillsloop.com and obviously the Facebook page and Instagram and all the rest of it. Is it true about TikTok? Is it as big as what people are saying?
Oh yeah, it's massive.
Is it big?
Yeah, TikTok's like...
Because I'm thinking about getting on it just for work related, but I just can't deal with another social media.
Yeah, so I signed up to Snapchat.
Oh no!
And the kids went, Dad, do you want Snapchat? I thought, I thought it might bring in a different sort of generation to the channel and that.
Yeah.
So I signed it all up, tried that out, and I just sort of like started watching stuff and I went, nah.
See,
go
go on TikTok, right? You start watching stuff. First of all, you'll see naked women, right? All the time, because that's what gets people in. I'm sure of it. But then it starts to know your algorithm, and I just like.
You see more naked.
Yeah. Well, that's what my mate said. I was saying that to mate.
Aliens.
My mate said
Aliens.
I still just get naked women. I was like, that's what you watch. But now you start to see like loads of mountain biking stuff, and there's some real funny stuff on there. Actually, but it's like a black hole.
Yeah.
You look at it, and like 2 hours later, you're like.
But ain't that like just like
everything?
They're kind of same as Insta. Like you're there on the toilet, and you're like.
No, it's Facebook. Do you know what I'm obsessed with?
And you stand up and go walk.
You know them crushing machines? That
Oh, yeah.
Really? It's the one thing I
And
just
the
can't
press,
skip
it's the
past.
press one.
And it's crushing, and it like crushes, it minces like gas
Yeah.
canisters. and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, you
I've
know
seen
what I
a
mean?
bowling ball go in there.
Yeah.
It's never going to work because it's rolling.
Mad.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with those
The
videos.
presses are good. Like
Yeah.
the kind of
See, the thing
presses.
is,
Oh,
like,
I love it. Welcome to the Hood Rally.
the thing is, all those videos that you see on like Facebook and that now, like my missus will show me a video. Oh, look at that! I'm like,
So
saw that 2 weeks ago on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like it's all starting on there at the moment. So,
Does anyone else do this? So you do like roll through the scroll. Someone will send you a reel and you go, oh, let's have a look. And you press and you go, oh, that's funny.
It's fun.
And then you press send and you go, I'll send it to him. Boom. And then you go back and you go, oh, he sent it me. So me and Justin are always doing that. Or you just scroll. They might have sent you like 10 videos and you just scroll off the first one. Spend half an hour scrolling. Go back. Go, oh my god, another 9 videos to watch it.
Me and Kat can be sat right next to each other. And we're there. They'll be sending it to her. It'd be so much easier just to go, watch that. We send them to
my
each other.
favourite guys, right, on TikTok, and not in a bad way. I don't mean this, but I'm
I know
addicted
what
to
you're
them.
gonna say.
It's Sam and Marley, and it's a Down syndrome cooking channel. These guys are absolutely brilliant and funny and great. Oh, I'm just addicted to watching that, which is like, and I don't mean it in like a derogative way at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're absolutely hilarious.
I think I watched one where they were cooking.
No boundaries, man. No boundaries.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
It's great, and that's the good thing about social media is it's giving everybody confidence, and I think the more that people see all these different types of people, that you kind of accept it more, don't you?
There shouldn't be boundaries.
No, there shouldn't be.
It's normalising everything.
Normal, yeah, great word.
Unless you want to identify as a toaster, and then I'm out with that kind of stuff. Like,
You've got another 40 minutes, mate. It's a whole new subject, that is.
yeah.
And on that bombshell.
On that bombshell, can we say it one last time?
Yeah. Together.
Let's do it together.
Let's do it together.
Tell me what it is.
Yes, YouTube!
Let's get ready.
Rumble.
Nice
Well
one.
done, man.
Nice one, man.
Cheers, man. Thanks for having us, guys.
How's
When I
your
say
back?
this,
Oh, sorry.
It's alright, mate.
No,
It's
please.
fine.
Can I just get this thing out of your
Nice
hair?
one.
Because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
spinning it
got
all
that.
the time. There you
Wow.
go.
I'm giving
He's spinning it all the
What
time.
do you tell me?
Do Skilled! This podcast is sponsored by InLife Web Design and Digital Marketing. Smarter solutions to bring your website to life. Also, JCFX Media, shaping your vision through film, animation and aerial footage. Have a nice day.